Most mainstream shows in indie animation right now have similar appeal amongst their audiences. The deep lore within these shows carries the audience's excitement more than the actual story, even when this is not the intention of the writers long term, like in Digital Circus's case. But what if I told you there is a small little indie show released 2 weeks ago that does the opposite of all this, but uses its premise of tackling social isolation to give us something that the indie scene is missing: pure comfort. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another quick joint, a series where a video is too long to be YouTube short, but too short to be a full-length video. Let's get right to it. The episode starts off with our main protagonist, Powder, in a dream sequence detailing all the worst things she thinks about herself, letting us know just how low her self-esteem is at the point that we're first meeting her. All we could hope as the audience is that when Powder starts her first day of high school later in the episode, that she makes some level of improvement in the way she sees herself. Her self-image is so bad that she even resorts to saying this. A slight trigger warning for the clip that I'm about to play right now. Skip to the time code on screen if it's too much for you.
That I think if I were to up and disappear, it would be truthfully for the better.
I had the pleasure of interviewing the show's creator, Ikouku, or Kou for short, through IG DMs last week in preparation for this video. One of the first questions I asked him were what life experiences shaped what we've been seeing on screen so far, and here's what he had to say.
Experiencing life in high school the same way Powder are the inspirations, just as stuff like struggling to make a single friend because they battle with thoughts produced from anxiety, as seen in the pilot episode. Another
thing I like to mention is the semi-low poly visual style of this show that's so appealing to the eye. It definitely reminds me of PS1 era video games for sure. The description for this pilot says that the Peanuts were one of the inspirations for this show. Not only can I see this within the quiet, low fidelity nature of the show's writing and overall vibe that we'll see more of later, but its simplistic visual style, especially with its facial features, also feel heavily inspired by those old cartoons / comics. Despite the amount of despair we saw Powder in within that dream sequence earlier, she remains optimistic about her first day of high school since she feels like she'll have a fresh start. Something I thought about my first year of high school too, so I realized I'd end up spending the whole year looking at 5+ Edgenuity videos for all of my classes during the pandemic for some shit I completely forgot about as soon as I logged out for the last time. The 2020s, a decade to remember. Man, f*** out of here.
Everyone's starting fresh. Maybe you can make a new friend. I don't remember seeing her before. She's probably a new kid. I've always wanted to be friends with a new kid.
WWW, talk to her. Damn, I sounded like an NPC streamer, my bad. Maybe I should hire a ghostwriter. They have those on YouTube, right? Oh yeah, that nigga does. Moving on. Powder was about to say hi to that girl from earlier on the bus, but she looked unapproachable. Like most of the kids I went to high school with. There was more niggas scrolling through TikTok with their AirPods in than there is racism in the anime and Star Wars community combined. Like I was sitting next to a nigga for a whole ride and neither one of us would try to make conversation, and that was just a normal occurrence. COVID really messed us up, man. This scene leads us to the show's opening theme created by October_Stereo, which fits the cozy TV vibe of this show so well, which is why I had to ask Kou how the music team in general for the show is assembled, since even this episode's score specifically is gas.
I had brought some friends onto the project who were already experienced, but otherwise, I would browse social media and come across super unique artists. From there, I messaged them and talked to them about contributing to the project.
This just goes to show how important building community and networking with others online is when it comes to enriching the vision you have for your project. Something I plan on doing a lot more when it comes to my cartoons. Speaking of that, I also asked Kou who were the first people to support his project.
I had a small online circle I've known for most of my life that were around since this project's creation.
Wait, nigga, is that me? Alright, the show is already relatable with the social awkwardness at the start of high school and all. I've definitely been there, but this is getting a little too close for comfort now. No pun intended.
There's so many places to stand that aren't right here. How are people already in a relationship on the first day of school anyway?
Niggas do be moving fast in high school though. It's niggas I went to school with who started dating their girlfriend in like freshman year and shit. I think one of them might have lasted past graduation. Meanwhile, I'm just now getting my situation together without saying too much, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say I'm feeling like that one Duke Dennis picture right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ow!
Sorry.
WWW, talk to her.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
Nah, I'm done. It's funny that this Scott Pilgrim reference is in here because it's credited in the description as one of the show's main influences, so I just thought that was cool.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Now's the perfect time to ask her what her name was.
Alright, later.
Despite that interaction not going the way Powder intended, she still must go on with the rest of her day and proceeds to sit down in her first period. No one tries to talk to her though. There's a time skip to her third period, and that's when we spot her potential new friend again. Like many socially anxious folk, like I said, I've been there before, she comes up with a whole damn manual on how to make a friend in her head before she actually tries to. Something I feel like a lot of people in my generation can relate to, especially with the decline in the percentage of IRL socializing people my age have with their friends. Unfortunately, Powder's operation has failed for the time being due to being interrupted by the teacher. I'm curious to see what Buddy look like.
Welcome back to school, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed your break. Did anybody do anything fun over the summer? You guys had...
Nigga, they put me in the show twice? And this time is even more accurate. They even aged out the beard for a nigga, bro. This is getting too literally me, bro. But Cole, if you watching this, could you like cut a brother a check or something? I mean, look at this.
I'm not the type of teacher to give out much homework, so you guys really just need to worry about classwork.
No homework was my favorite thing to hear from a teacher growing up. I ain't gonna lie to you. For most of high school, I had no homework. Now, when I start college in the fall of 2025, that would probably be a different story, but let's not focus on that right now. I can see a 3,000 word essay in my nightmares right now, so this is good enough. Anyway, the assignment given to the class is an all about me presentation for another student. Ironically, I had to do an assignment just like this in my senior year English class last fall. The whole class found out I did YouTube that day and probably instantly forgot by the end of that class period because it was damn near 30 niggas in there, so there's no way anyone retained any of that information. I was nervous as hell doing it myself, so I completely understand Powder internally freaking out about this.
Hi. Hello? I doubt you remember, but we bumped into each other this morning.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. You were all over the place.
I was wondering if you wanted to be partners for our project?
Damn, she actually said it. Let's go. It's like an NBA Finals level win right there. At least I think it is. But y'all probably nerdy as hell too if you're watching this, so I doubt anyone's gonna critique the accuracy of that joke anyway. But thankfully, the other girl agrees to do the project with Powder, and her name turns out to be Marcy. And would you look at that? My amphibia PTSD has come back in full effect from hearing that name. All my homies hate King Andreas. Shout out Keith David though. You go for real. Looks like Powder's found a homie from way back when. She doesn't seem very geeked about this though.
Powder?
Megan. No way, she's in this class. She's in this class too.
Despite the positive interaction she had with Marcy earlier, Powder's still worried that the dynamic they have might not end up becoming the friendship she was hoping for. Powder asks Marcy to come over to her house to work on their project, but we the audience can infer that the main reason Powder wants her to come over is so their dynamic could blossom into a friendship quicker.
Are your mom and dad home?
Oh, no. She's at work. She's usually there all day. Look, I made you a sandwich.
Is this peanut butter? I'm allergic to peanut butter.
Seriously?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Damn, she had me fooled for a second, and this is my second watch of the episode, so I should have known better.
Her sense of humor is weird.
Shit, dude. Your room is way bigger than mine.
Is it? I didn't think my room was all that big.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have a closet in your room. That's not normal.
Man, if she thinks that's crazy, she should see my closet. Actually, y'all don't need to see that closet. It's mad junky in there.
And you have a bathroom in your room? My whole family shares too.
Okay, a bathroom is crazy. How much money is her parents making? Like, are they moving dope or something? Young nigga move that dope. Young nigga move that dope. Hey, move that. Anyway, Powder tries to make an effort to get to know Marcy through conversation.
About me. I like music.
Oh, Marcy with music? She seemed like a Dirty Sprite 2 type of girl, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm definitely not saying that because I was rapping Feature just now. And Marcy answers honestly and says she doesn't really know much about herself, which is fair since her and Powder are probably like 14 to 15 years old. You're not supposed to know much of anything at that age. Heck, not even at the age that I'm at, which is 18. Like, the law says I'm a grown man, but a nigga was still in high school just 3 months ago. So at most, I have like a closed beta test of adulthood right now, basically. Anyway, her and Marcy have a heart-to-heart conversation about friendships they've had in the past and how they all ended abruptly. I could relate a decent amount to what Marcy is saying about becoming distant with your old friends, yet consistently seeing them on social media all the time. Knowing the real human connection you guys had at one point doesn't exist anymore. So now this artificial digital connection you have to them feels almost transparent. like it's not even there, almost like you shouldn't have access to it at all. Marcy's deadpan but emotionally impactful voice acting adds such a beautiful contrast to everything she's saying here.
I know how you feel. There was someone I thought I would be friends with for the rest of my life, too.
Yeah. To be completely honest, none of my old friends ever even bothered to text me or keep me in the loop.
I ain't gonna lie, out of all the shit I've seen up until this point, this was the scene that piqued my curiosity the most when I watched the show for the first time. This is when I realized it was the best thing I've seen in indie animation all year, with the ramshackle pilot being a close second. Marcy leaves abruptly, confusing the shit out of Powder, while Marcy's innermost thoughts that she had before leaving lets us infer that she does want to be friends with Powder and is just taking it slow.
Guess it can't be helped. Thank you for giving me another chance, Powder.
Oh my god, I'm back! Marcy and Powder have to present their project. Powder reads off the notes she prepared, but to her surprise, Marcy says some really nice things about her off the dome.
So embarrassing. Where's her paper? She doesn't even have anything to say about me.
My partner's name is Powder. She can be all over the place, but she's actually super nice. She's the type to make you feel comfortable when you're somewhere new and constantly reaching out and letting you know she's there. She fidgets a lot. Also, her house is huge. She's cool, I guess.
I made a friend.
This was a really sweet way to wrap up the episode, but before I go, here's my final thoughts. Earlier, I talked about how mainstream indie animation tends to bring in lore-loving, questionable fan art drawing, multi-fandom audiences. You know, shows like Hell of a Boss, Murder Drones, and Digital Circus, even though Gooseworks doesn't want the show to be seen that way. There's nothing wrong with having shows like these. I mean, I'm geeked for episode 3 of Digital Circus as much as the next guy, considering I've done 2 videos covering the show already in the last year. Link in the description if you're interested in those, by the way. But there's something special about a show that, despite dealing with heavy subjects like self-loathing and social isolation, it can still give so much comfort to its audience. It's the type of show that's so low fidelity you could fall asleep to it, but at the same time it makes you think deeper about what you and or the people around you have went through. Pure comfort in the truest sense. According to Kohu's IG page, this show was made during his gap year before he goes back to school. And considering I'm in a similar situation with my series, this inspires me on a level that no indie cartoon has ever done for me before. Speaking of IG, make sure to follow me on there at Genius the Great for more updates on videos like these. Link also in the description. But anyway, supporting a show like Digital Circus, for example, feels like going to a concert with a stacked venue of over 1K people. And you can barely see the people performing in front of a bunch of people taking IG stories pretending to enjoy themselves. Those people would basically be the equivalent to the creators making those Digital Circus content for them. And supporting pieces of Powder feels like rooting for the local SoundCloud rapper you went to high school with, who not only had a strong support system from his homies, but was also genuinely good. That person may or may not have been me in a literal sense when I was in high school, even in middle school. And having that amount of relatability really inspires me to keep pursuing my own cartoon I've been working on for almost 8 years now. Which is why it's fitting that the last question I asked Kohu was what advice they had for other people trying to pursue their own indie projects.
Market your projects in a variety of ways. Build a dedicated following and keep them up to date on progress with your work.
If you want to support this show, the pilot itself, the show's Patreon, and the creator's socials are linked in the description. I highly suggest you check out the Patreon the most, because not only does it give you access to the show's Discord, but also behind the scenes content and your name in the show's credits. This is not a sponsor, by the way. I just love this indie shit, bro. I'm just trying to put niggas on, that's all. Anyway, this has been a quick joint, and until next time, I'm out this mug.